what is up? Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game post polls, opinions, and opinions. And NFL news around the league. I probably screwed up that intro, but let's go. And also, don't forget to check out Lindara Ty if you are interested in boosting your stream, intros, outros, etc. She's looking for new clients. Go talk to her on Instagram using her last name first, Ty, T-A-I, dot Lindara, Lindara. She does videos, panels, etc. Tell her we sent you. She'll hook you up. Fair pricing, awesome to work with. And just awesome in general. Go check her out. Lindara Ty on Instagram. But yeah. Be sure to hit the bell so you don't miss any new content for training camp, as we are now into day 2, continuing the coverage of training camp here on the Keep Pounding channel. And if you want schedules, keep an eye on the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps. All right. Let's get this started. Now, mind you, I have not seen anything yet so far from day 2. Aside from a couple of things which I do want to bring to your attention. The first of which is the fact that they are being very, very cautious with Derek Brown. So that means, yes, he is going to be going through warm-ups and stuff like that, but is he going to do regular stuff? No. So, we are going to check out what's going on Twitter first, and then go from there. Give me one moment to get rid of some stuff off my screen that is unnecessary, and then we shall proceed. We're going to be doing the presser as well for day 2, so stick around for that if you would like to see me react to that. Let's see. That's supposed to, there we go. I don't know why I was doing that. There we go. Okay, so let's start with the first thing we see, which is this right here. Nice footwork. Nice catch. Mr. McMillan. Right out of the gate. So, let's see what else is going on. Okay, 6th rounder. Look at that footwork. That is beautiful footwork. Watch this. Look how fast that is. My goodness. Oh my gosh. That is crazy footwork right there. That's what you came to see right there, folks. That's what you came to see. Because we're building up that hype today. We building up that excitement. We building up that hype. We getting everybody involved. And I mean, like, man. That's the stuff right there. You watch that 100 times, bro. You watch that 100 times and enjoy that. For exactly what that is. Alright, let's see what else we got. Ooh. Ooh, look at that reach. That's some filthy reach right there. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Sheesh. Man, what did I tell you about this dude? What did I tell you about this dude? Man, y'all better start putting some respect on that 13 name, man. Y'all better start putting some respect on this man's name. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If he keeps making catches like that, let me see that on a 2 to 3 day basis, man. Consistently. That's what I want to see right there. That is what's going to get you on a 53-man roster right there. Period, point blank. When you got reach like that, there's not a defender in the NFL that can handle that crap right there. They literally have to injure the wide receiver just to get that ball knocked down. Or knock him off his route. Because there's just no way. That is really hard to defend. Alright, so that's a beautiful pass. The Vikings training camp there. Just a little snippet from J.J. McCarthy there. Yeah, man, that's a nice play right there. Respect to him. Alright, let's see that Bryce throw. Nice accuracy. Good footwork. Nice accuracy. That's to David Moore. And you see, the more he gains confidence, the more he starts to straighten out his technique. We're going to plant that foot before he throws it. That's good technique. That's what you want to see. That's a healthy throw from Bryce. So now, let's see what else we got going on. They're doing autographs with the media people? Man. What we got going on here? Okay, that's a deep out. Good ball placement. Okay, that's that third string quarterback, isn't it? Yeah, that's that third string quarterback. Good plant. Yeah. He's got his technique down. Looks good. But let's see him in 7-on-7s, though. You know, when he's under pressure. Let's see how his technique changes. You know, is it going to stay the same? Is it going to change? You know, what's going on with him, you know, in pressure situations. But yeah, that looks good right there. That's a proper technique right there. Bryce does have like a little bit of happy feet, when he does set up, but as long as the line is protecting him properly, it shouldn't be a problem. And it wasn't last year, so I don't really see any issues there, unless it physically affects the throw. Then we got something to talk about. But beyond that, I don't see a problem with that. More concerned with our fourth-year former first-round left tackle getting whooped by a rookie edge so easily. Ooh, yeah. This post right here. This post right here. Mm-hmm. Let's draw attention to that right there. I've been trying to tell you, Icky needs work. He needs work, y'all. Y'all can keep covering it up. Y'all can keep throwing it under the mattress. But eventually, you got to deal with it. And I've been saying that for 3 years now. At least. Because, yeah, did Icky make a few improvements last year? Sure. But did it completely transform him like it did Taylor Moton? No. No, he's still struggling with his technique. And as a matter of fact, I want to see his draft profile. Because I bet you they said something about his technique and his footwork. Nah, Panthers culture is right to point this out. He is right to point this out. And it's not just Princely, getting extra aggressive as a defensive end, but it's more so the concern is Icky. Because Icky's had problems in the past and he still does. So, like I said, eventually you're going to have to deal with Icky. You can't let this become another Mike Remmer situation. And I'll say that again because people need to listen to this. Y'all need to hear me when I say this on stream, guys. I'm going to say it loud and clear for y'all. We need to eventually deal with Icky so he does not become the next Mike Remmers. I'm pushing hard on that right there because I do not want to lose another Super Bowl. That he was the tipping point for why we started to lose that Super Bowl. He was the beginning of why. There were a handful of reasons why, but that was the tipping point. And you know how I know that he was one of the reasons that we lost that Super Bowl? Because the Chiefs signed him and they lost the Super Bowl. Because they put him in. And they kept covering it up. They made the same mistake we did and did not learn from it. So let's learn from it this time, please. Just because we're making, the efforts, through roster building and development does not mean you can ignore something like that. And put it to the back burner, and act like it ain't a problem, at the end of the day. Oh, we can cover that up with depth. We can cover that up with this, that, or the third. That is the recipe for the start of losing another Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, in 26 and 27 or 28, when we try for that Super Bowl and Icky is not playing 4 whole quarters of football, it's going to cost us. It is. This man has got to refine his technique. He has got to push past that glass ceiling, or you have failed with this man. And you need to replace him and move on and upgrade. All due respect to Icky, I believe that he can do it. I believe he's got it in him. But you guys have got to get that out of him. If you're not getting that out of him, Icky is going to be the next Mike Rimmers. Point blank, period. People want to highlight, oh, Princely is a beast. Princely is this, that, and the third. That's awesome. Because, yes, he is. He is every bit of what you're talking about. But there's also the issue with Icky. You cannot disguise it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot sweep it under the rug anymore. It's real. Face it. And it's getting swept under the rug because everybody's talking about Princely right now. That's exactly what's going on. So during training camp, it's going to get swept under the rug. And I'm trying to tell you, that cannot happen anymore. If nobody else makes it a point of emphasis, I will. Thank you, Panthers culture, for pointing this out, because by pointing this out, he's not talking about Princely. Read in between the lines here. Read in between the lines of what he wrote. He's more concerned about our fourth-year former first-round left tackle. More concerned. Thank you. My man is paying attention right here. And that's how you could tell. And you know what? I'm going to sub to him too. Nah. I'm following his page, so that's good enough. I'm going to follow him. There you go. There you go, boss man. You earned it. You earned it. With that post right there, with that tweet right there, you earned it. Because it shows me you're actually focused. You got your eye on the ball. And you focus on what needs to be focused on right now. I like that. Alright, let's see next clip. Good speed, good route running. Okay. Good hip turn. Yeah. This is the stuff that we need to be watching right here. It is that hip turn on these corner routes. It matters a lot. That's the difference between a wide receiver getting an extra step or two on a corner, or that corner burning a wide receiver and closing the gap and knocking a ball down. So if that hip turn ain't solid, man, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? If that technique ain't solid, those corners and safeties can close that gap real quick. Okay, I don't know what that drill is. Kind of okay. So is this like a deeply thrown ball situation where it's a DB trying to catch the ball deep, while on the run? Yeah, there we go. Nice run. Nice catch. Who was that? I don't know. Could be running backs, though. Could be. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, we got a Caleb Williams clip right here. Oh, he got picked. Oh. Oh, Caleb. Oh, no. No, brother. You can't be throwing balls like that into double coverage, Caleb. Those corners will roast you. And he just did. Look at that. Caleb Williams. There's your first look at him. Sheesh. There's the Dolphins training camp. Tua throwing some balls. We're kind of tracking a little bit of everything today. Because I just want to see what's going on. You know? That's a nice catch. They had to take Jalen Waddle and Tua off the field because they were throwing and catching too many balls. That's hilarious. Dang. What's up, Marcos Cash? How you doing, man? Shout out to you. What we got going on with Shedeur Sanders? Let's see. Let's check out Shedeur Sanders. I'm feeling wild right now. I'm feeling like let's do a little scouting on what we can see. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't just have to be Panthers stuff. We cover mostly Panthers stuff, but every once in a while I take a look around the league and see what else is up. You know? Alright, Shedeur, let's see what you got. This is our first look at Shedeur in a Browns uniform. Show me something interesting, Shedeur. Good rollout. He ain't doing a whole lot of nothing right now. I ain't seen nothing so far from him. Except for a good rollout. Shoot. There's about 20 quarterbacks that can do that right now. That are rookies. Show me something different, Shedeur. Show me something fresh, bro. I want to see something the rest of these guys can't do. That's what I'm looking for. Roll out, roll out, roll out. And he walks it in. Man, please. Shedeur, you ain't showing me nothing, man. You ain't showing me nothing right there. There's about 20 other quarterbacks that can do just what you just did in training camp right now. More like 30 or 40. That ain't nothing special right there. Shoot, Joe Webb was doing that back in the day. Come on, man. Man, I don't know what. Anybody want to see a fight, Cam? Come on. What's going on with this breaking news? What we got? The Raiders are releasing Christian Wilkins. Oh, shoot. Suffered a foot injury from last year. And they voided the last $35.2 million of his contract. Wow. Okay. Okay. What we got in the following section? Let's see. I follow all kinds of stuff, man. You don't know. But yeah, I like the fact that we're focused on not just the fact that Princely blew past Icky, but the fact that we're focused on Icky, right now. Let's see, what else we got? Run game, don't care about that. Oh, nice catch. T Mac on a tightrope. Your boy T Mac on a tightrope. Yeah. Justin Blackmon is officially a New Orleans Saints player. Hey, you know what? I'm not even gonna make a big deal out of that because you miss us out there, man. We miss you too. We miss you too, big dog. We miss you too, Adam. We had so much fun watching you guys play, man. Man, shout out to the players, man. Leaving a message for us, man. I love that. Thank you so much, man. Yo, love right back to you. Love right back to you guys. Yeah. We gonna be out there. We gonna be out there in 2027. We gonna be out there. I'll personally make that trip up to Charlotte and see you guys. You already know. I'm going up there for fan day. I already got my tickets today, man. And if you haven't got them yet, the only tickets I've seen that are still available are up in that upper bowl on the North Gate side on Ticketmaster.com. On the Ticketmaster website. As far as I know, that's the only one selling these tickets so far. And if you haven't gotten your fan day tickets, get them soon. Because I'm telling you, those tickets will sell soon. Very, very quickly. Especially considering the fact that we don't have any fans at training camp. It's going to go even quicker. Now keep in mind, they did raise the price a tiny bit to like $5.70 or something like that. So it's not straight $5 anymore. It's $5 and some change. So, just note that. But the parking prices are still the same. The food prices, the merch prices, still the same. So, if you go up there and you're looking to get some merch, man, you got some extra money from not having to pay like a ton of money for fan day tickets, man. Go get you some merch and get you some food, bro. At the fan day. The fan fest. They only got tickets in the upper bowl towards between the 30 and the 30. On both sides of the field. That stretch of the North Gate. So if you don't have your fan day ticket yet, go get it. I'm trying to tell you, go get it. If you're coming. Me and my gentleman have already bought ours in our party. We are going to meet up and all sit together. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, every year if you guys want to sit next to me, let me know ahead of time. That way I can plan for it. That way I can get a head count before I buy these tickets, man. Because once I buy these tickets, that's it. That's it. I ain't meeting y'all nowhere around that stadium. Y'all got to come to me in my section at Fan Day. I already told y'all that. So, if you want to sit next to me at Fan Day, get that. Let me know early. Every year. Because you already know I'm going to be there. You already know. Now, the question is, who's coming with me every year? That's the question. Because every day, every year, for FanFest, I clear my entire calendar for y'all. We go to a restaurant together, we meet up, and we go sit together in the stadium. Whoever it is that's with me. That's how we roll. And anybody that wants to meet up, that happens to be going there, that's from the Keep Pounding crew, subscribers, followers, anybody like that, meet up in my section, man. Meet me. Alright, so we got Cade Mays and Austin Corbett going at it at center. Kicking battle continues today. But the biggest thing is Pat Jones with the pick. Big 91 with the pick. Ooh. Pat Jones got some hops, man. Look how high up he had to go for that. You don't see a linebacker get up that high very often. That dude's got some hops. I like that. That was a good read and a good pick. That was not underthrown. That was perfectly thrown. By the way that looked. Let's see what else is going on. And also, rip to the great Hulk Hogan. Rip to the great Ozzy Osbourne. I just had to stop content and just say that real quick. And we also lost a jazz singer too this week. Man, life is too short, man. Life is too doggone short. I'm trying to tell y'all, live it up the best you can while you still have it. Live in the moment. Enjoy each moment while you still have it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. And eventually we're all going to be in the dirt, man. So, enjoy every moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I've seen in my newsfeed has been either Hulk Hogan or Ozzy or something else, man. And it's just wild to think about, man. God, I'm still processing this crap, man. For real. And I'll get more into that during the second music stream that we do. Because right now, I don't want to get into that. Because this ain't the time or place for that. During this stream. We doing Panthers content right now. But if you want to hear more about that, we got a music stream, that we're going to be doing at some point down the line. I haven't set a scheduled time for that or a date. But yeah, a second one is coming. You guys responded well to the first one, so we're going to be doing a second one. But we'll talk about Ozzy's legacy during that. But right now, let's focus back on the content of the Panthers. Let's get to it. So remember that video of Scott Fitter saying he had the number 1 overall pick in 2022, would have selected Icky. Looking back, he would have to be an idiot. He showed all the tendencies. Oh my God. And again, like I said, Panthers culture going in on Icky hard, man. About as hard as I have. And today, once again, today is not about how well Princely performed. It's more about the lack of skills from Icky that we keep covering up. That we know has been an issue before we even got Princely. So, keep throwing it under the rug. It's still there. It's still there, man. And I'm trying to tell you, I don't want another Mike Rimmers situation. I don't want it. Because that is the start of a recipe for losing another Super Bowl, y'all. For real. You can cover it up with depth. You can put up flowers on it. You can cover it up with lipstick. It's still a pig, bro. A pig is still a pig. No matter what you do with it, it's still gonna stink. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still gonna stink. And I mean, Icky made a little bit of strides, man, but it's not even close to enough to what we need. I need 4 whole quarters from this man every single game, like Taylor Moton did. That's a transformation. That's what I need to see from Icky, a transformation. And I'm not seeing it yet. All I'm seeing is Princely blowing by him on an inside move. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't it, Icky. That ain't it. You got to improve your technique and footwork, man. You got to. Like, and we know he's capable of it because we've seen him do it, for 4 games last year. So my whole thing is like, is he coachable? Or is it just the fact that he's just not motivated enough to work on his technique and his... I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Icky. But Icky's got to figure out Icky. You know what I'm saying? If we want any shot at him staying in the starting 5 in the future. Because the more times that you hear Princely blows by Icky, throughout the rest of training camp this month, it's going to become a recurring theme. It's going to become a trend. You're going to see it every single day, or almost every single day, in Twitter. And that's what I'm worried about, man. So, that's what I don't want to see on Twitter, man. But, shout out Panthers culture for pointing it out, though. He a real one. He focused on the real thing, man. He's focused on the real thing. He's not taking his eye off the ball and looking at Princely. He sees Icky for who he is and what he is. Shout out to you, man. Upon further review of the Panthers, Princely didn't actually hit Bryce Young on yesterday's practice any play. See, I don't know. Since I can't see the play itself, I can't make a judgment call on it. I can't go either way with this, So, but yeah, Princely's gonna cook, man. Princely's gonna cook. That's just who he is. He's gonna cook. Let's see. Oh, we got Chad Johnson, man. Ocho Cinco. Did y'all catch this tweet? Please tell me y'all caught this tweet. This man said, do your effing homework. We got T-Mac XL, Coker, Jimmy Horn, Adam Thielen. And y'all acting like we ain't got wide receivers. Man, please. Stop that stupid narrative. The amount of times I've heard from other people that are just like, who we don't have wide receivers. No, 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 no. You know, shut up. Bro, we about to make y'all look like clowns this year. With that info right there. You watch and see. All I'm going to say is let our wide receivers speak for themselves. Let them speak for themselves. Because if you believe that these guys are not capable of doing what we've been asking for them to do, then you're going to get surprised. Pleasantly surprised. And I've been saying it like all offseason. These guys are on the level of talent that we had in 2015. Nobody knew who any of those wide receivers were back in 15. You know, as a matter of fact, let me go through that list of those wide receivers because nobody knew who they were before we started going undefeated. Nobody. $2015. There you go. You gonna try to tell me that people knew who Corey Brown was, Devin Funchess, Ted Ginn Jr.? Nobody paid any attention to Jericho Cotchery because he was up in New York with the Jets. The only person they were paying attention to was Kelvin Benjamin, and he ate himself out of the league. So, again, nobody was paying any attention or love to these wide receivers back then. But the level of talent that was in that core was astounding when you finally started opening it up. Okay, let's go down this list, shall we? You had Ted Ginn Jr. led the team in receiving yards per game with 49.3. 49.3. Jericho Cotchery had 34.6 per game. Then you had Billy Brown with 31.9 per game. Devin Funchess, who was a rookie, contributed to the wide receiver core. And then you also had Brenton Burson, you know, that contributed his part too. So, I mean, like, they did all of that without Kelvin Benjamin. All of that without KB. And I'm trying to tell you right now, we've got all our wide receivers healthy this year. And they've got the same level of talent as that squad right there. That's a scary thought for defenses right there. When we finally get this playbook rolling. Because Bryce is gaining confidence. Once Bryce starts getting on his A game, like every single game, we get that run game going. Our tight end room looks so much better. It's not perfected yet, but God, it looks so much better. It looks so much better. And this offensive line, you got the starting five that's solid. You got Christian McCaffrey, you got Cade Mays, the Swiss Army knives back there as the depth chart. I mean, this is... You finally got Austin Corbett back healthy again. So you got a healthy competition there. I mean, bruh, all we need is this playbook. All we need is a solid playbook. And Bryce to throw his best balls. That's it. Everything else will take care of itself, bro. Because what is the one thing that we mainly pride ourselves on as an offense over the terms of the 26 years that we've been around as a franchise? Running game. Look at our running backs. You tell me that this offense isn't about to start popping off once we get Bryce going? I'm trying to tell you. This offense is going to be a problem for defenses. We've got some work to do still. You know, to fully fill in the gaps. You know, as far as the depth. But, I mean, as long as that concrete ain't cracking, bro. What I'm trying to tell you, from that foundation of what we built on this offense, shoot. This offense is about to be a problem. And you're starting to see some of these catches during training camp here, and that's just in the first couple of days. We got Ocho Cinco paying attention to us and showing us love, man. Look at Ocho Cinco, man. In exactly that order. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so let's see what Panthers Wire is saying about us today. Shout out Anthony Rizzuti. Anthony Rizzuti. He does a lot of these posts, so much love to him. I've seen a lot of good stuff from him. Alright. A few rookies. On the hill. Ugh, sorry. Been a busy day. But let's see what we got. So there's the whole conversation about Princely supposedly hitting Bryce Young. Yada, yada, yada. Princely chalked up another would-be sack on Thursday after beating Icky on the inside move. And this is not uncommon. Icky has faced pretty much every Pro Bowler in the NFC at this point at defensive end. And most of them have beat him on the inside. This is not new. Most of them have beat him at least once on an inside move. So you want to start working on your technique, that's where you start, Icky. Alright, there's the competition between Corbin and Cade Mays. They're going to alternate the days who goes with Bryce. I like that. That chemistry matters. The whole group works with communication. We're looking at all of it. We're going to evaluate it. Again, I love competition. I love asking these guys to be their best. They don't have to go above and beyond who they are. It just requires all of you. Facts. Facts. Well said. You know, so let's see. Wright versus Fitzgerald. Here we go. This is what a lot of people have been talking about, is that kicker competition. I don't know that right now, but I have to give him a fair opportunity to kick here on the skinny uprights. Get him in the game so we can count on him for what distance to make that decision. Okay. And of course the kickoff comes to the play. Puts it inside the 20, run a little bit, give her a coverage unit advantage. We need more opportunities to be able to make that. Okay. 4 of 5 attempts on skinny boots yesterday. Skinny post yesterday. Followed up with a 4 for 5 clip of his own Thursday. So, sticky with Icky. Here we go. Main topic of discussion is Icky today. As it should be, really. Icky says he's going to let his agent handle his extension. He said he wants to wear that jersey for as long as he can. They're hoping they can get something done. My question is, once you get to that 5th-year option where you have to choose whether you want to give him a 5th-year option or not, can you upgrade with a veteran? That's my question. As I don't want to draft one. I want to free agent spend money on one. And a young one too. I want to see what pops up. I want to see what makes the most sense, money wise, and what we could put in. Plug in there that's going to be consistently giving you 4 whole quarters of successful blocking. Whether it be opening up holes or whether it be pass blocking. So I need 4 whole quarters every game, from whoever we choose to go with. I need proper technique. I need proper footwork. That's what I'm looking for. Panthers back out of day 2 from David Newton. Let's see what he's got for us. Little warm-up throws. Okay. So that was it. Gotcha. All right. Tommy Trimble's running routes and catching the ball. He looks pretty fluid as a runner. He is still on pup. All right. Lots of kick returners getting work out today. From Jimmy Horn Jr. to Raheem Blackshear to Rico, Trevor Etienne. There were others as well. Okay. Derek Brown is not visible at the practice. He had an excused absence for personal reasons. Missed yesterday's practice too. Okay. Got you. Safety work. All right. Lathan Ransom. Let's see what we got here. Show me something fun. I want to see something interesting here. Oh, okay. We saw this video already. About 5 minutes ago. But it still bears looking at now. Because now that we know that those are safeties. Going back for the ball. Okay. Okay, so they're giving him like different scenarios of like what might happen. You know, if a pass is underthrown or overthrown or to a certain spot. You know, you got to be able to adjust as a safety and be ready for that. You know, how are you going to turn your hips? How are you going to handle mechanics? Yeah, see right there. Look how he turned his body. That's what you're looking for. The footwork, the speed, and the body control is what you're looking for from Latham. So, and he displayed all three in that one catch right there, and that was excellent. So, I'm glad we got a chance to look at that. Jimmy Horn Jr. gets to make a nice jump catch on an out route throw from Andy Dalton. Here's first highlight of the camp, 7-on-7. Okay. Here's my thing. And I know I might get some smoke for this. Why is he having to make a jump catch on an out route? Do y'all see something wrong with this? Because this is typical Andy Dalton overthrowing the ball, you know, in training camp. And he's doing it again. Like, again, this is day 2. I don't know why in the world these throws are errant and not accurate during training camp and preseason, but for some reason he's balls out when called upon in the regular season. I don't get it. I'm not looking to get horse in the mouth, but I don't get it. I would love to have the best of both worlds there. But, I mean, this is yet again year 3. We're asking that question, what is making him so inaccurate in training camp and preseason? Again, you don't want to mess up the balance. You know, if it's working, it's working, you know, to where he's able to make throws during regular season. You know, then you don't want to upset the balance. But if there's a way to have the best of both, I would love to have it. Because whatever you do in training camp typically translates into preseason, and then preseason translates into regular season. That's typically how it works. But, again, you get an anomaly like Andy Dalton every once in a while. And all I'm saying is, if he gets all of his bad throws out of his system during training camp and preseason, I'm not complaining. I'm just calling it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm doing. And, like, the first year I was calling it out, and I was very adamant about it, because I was just like, okay, what is going on here? Because this should not be happening, because of my standards, you know. But now I recognize it's an anomaly, so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to let that slide, you know. I'm not going to push it as hard as I normally would, you know, after watching two to 3 years of this. So, because we have bigger and stronger concerns right now to look at. You know, if it's working, it's working. Don't mess with it. Basically. Bryce Young threats the needle between Christian Rosenblum and Charles Smith Wade for a touchdown pass to David Moore during 7-on-7. Ooh. Well. And this is something that I think Bear is paying attention to, because Charles Smith Wade doesn't have the best pass breakup ability. You know, and Christian is new. You know, so he's not used to what we're doing yet. David Moore's been here for a while now. And David Moore's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove. So he is working extra hard, you know, to get the attention of the coaching staff so he can stay on that 53. man roster. So you're going to see some plays from David Moore. You're going to see some plays from Hunter Renfrow. And it's going to go back and forth throughout the training camp. Now, who gets selected for that 53? That's going to be a big question. And it's not like the past where, oh, this dude's been on the roster, for X amount of years, so we have to put him on the 53. Or it's not about favoritism of, oh, David Moore's been, beloved by the community or this, that, and the third, No. It's strictly competition now. Strictly one-on-one competition. May the best man win. May the best man make the roster. And that's exactly how it should be in every position on this roster. And that's exactly how it is. Finally, under Dave Canales and Dan, that's how it is. And this is what I've been asking for years from Panthers coaches and GMs, but they would never do it. They were so used to their favoritism, they were so used to their buddy system, and it pissed me off to no end because there were so many players that got cut, that should have made the roster, and other players that stayed on the roster that should have been gone during that time period of the last 10 to 15 years. That it actually pissed me off a number of times. That there would be a player every single year that they would keep on that roster, that they shouldn't have done. And it's a random player every year that they've got. There's no telling who it might be, from year to year. And they would keep doing it over and over and over again. And I was just like, stop, bro. Just please stop the cycle, man. Because it's hurting our roster, man. It's hurting our season. When you don't have the proper people on your roster and you don't develop them properly, it will kill your season. And we did that for, 15 years? Minus 2014 and 15? But every year besides that, we've been doing that consistently and screwing ourselves up. Until Dave Canales and Dan came along. Until these two. Even with Gettleman, it happened. At least once. And it frustrated me to no end. But we finally fixed that problem. I feel like we finally fixed it. So, I'm excited for a player like David Moore to finally get his opportunity, and have to fight for his spot to stay on that 53. Because when you were fighting a guy like Hunter Renfrow that's been in the league for a number of years, if you're David Moore, this is going to make you fight even harder to earn your spot and keep it, It's going to push him. And I love that, Because this is what it's all about. It is pushing these players to get better. And that's been a reoccurring theme of Dave Canales. You'll hear it today in the presser. You'll hear it tomorrow. You'll hear it the next day. On and on and on. Because that is a recurring theme. And it's a good one. It's a healthy one for this roster and this team. And it's something we've been needing for a long, long time. Desperately needing. So here's another one. You got J.C. Horn versus Tet McMillan. This awesome matchup here on a deep route that Young's essentially had to overthrow to avoid trouble from J.C. Horn. Shut him down from my angle. Dang. JC Horn. I'll tell y'all. If anybody is sleeping on JC Horn, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. Because this dude can cook when he wants to. I'm just saying. He can play, bro. When he's healthy, he can play. He can ball. So, don't sleep on your boy right there. Don't sleep on him. And I could see it now. Tet and JC Horn are going to have a legendary matchup. It's going to be like, oh my God. Who do I compare that to? Who do we have back in the day that was a great comparison to that? Because I remember one or two. But I want to see what y'all think. You know? Who would be your comparison? Because that's what energizes everybody else. That's what pumps everybody else up and makes them want to play harder. When you got competitions like that. You had Cam Newton, you had Josh Norman going at it against each other in a fight, in practice. Because they were just so competitive and just really wanted to up their games, And at that point, like, it pumped everybody up for the right reasons, So, I mean, you don't have to fight in order to get your point across and energize everybody. But what you do have to do is demonstrate your abilities to overpower the other person on the other side of the field. On an 11-on-11 drills, 7-on-7. So I could see that battle heating up a lot in the next month. A lot. And I'm excited for it. I am here for it. Let's see. Still impressed with the rookie's kicking strength. Ryan Fitzgerald. Okay. Brushion picked over the middle by his new teammate Pat Jones. He was looking for T-Mac. Ooh. And again, like I said, when you look at that particular play, Pat Jones leaped up in the air for that ball. I was surprised he even got the height that he did on that to catch that ball. Because that's a normally thrown ball, that's one of those dart throws, He was trying to throw one of those dot passes over the middle, And Pat Jones, man, shout out to Pat Jones for picking up on that and reading that accurately and just getting that pick. Respect to you, Pat. Well done, sir. That's how you catch attention right there. Nobody's looking at you, man. You got to find a way to get people to look at you if you're on this defense right now. Same with the offense. If you're not being recognized right now, if you're being ignored, find a way to get people to look at you and pay attention to you. Because the only person that can do that is you, if you're a player. These coaches aren't going to look at you and say, oh, well, his past videos look good, I even though I didn't really know, pay attention to him today, I'm still looking at him because he's on my roster, and he looks big and beefy and everything, like he's supposed to. But, here's the thing. Did you catch these coaches' attention? Did you catch Dave Canales' attention? Did you catch your coach's attention. No matter who it might be, whether it be a secondary coach, whether it be a wide receiver coach, whether it be whichever coach that you are trying to impress, did you catch their attention? Because if the answer is no, you're not doing enough. Pat Jones today just did enough to catch the coach's attention and the media's attention. And mine as well. You know, as a YouTuber that is highly analytical about what these guys do. Or sometimes don't do. You know? So, I'm not trying to overhype myself, but, you know, I'm very, very good at catching this stuff. You know? Seeing the good, the bad, the ugly, and the temper. So, you know, you got to catch all these people's attention as well as mine. You know, because I can hype you up. I can make you look good, man. I can, you know, I could push your name up there, man. I've got some sway, you know, on YouTube. You know, so let me help you. You know, do your part, and I got you. You know, that's what I say to these players every year, man. Do your part, and I got you. I'll do my part. I'll hop you up. You catch my attention, I got you. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's how it is, man. We real out here. Bend the corner, okay? This is one of the things I wanted to look at right here. Was the corners and the safeties. So we're looking at how he rotates his body. Look at the body control. That's what you want to see right there. That's why they highlighted this. Because that type of body control is important. That's the difference between staying with your wide receiver and getting burnt by them. It could be the smallest little turn of the hips. It can be the footwork. It could be the technique. It could be the hands. If you're not doing it all to the best of your ability on the field, if you're facing Pro Bowlers, they're going to roast you. A great example of that is Julio Jones. Julio Jones cooked us during that Atlanta game. And I mean straight cooked us for 200 yards. Why? Lack of speed, lack of discipline, lack of technique, lack of footwork, lack of hands. All of the things I've been teaching to you. I've been preaching to you guys about. If you don't do those 5 things, you're going to get roasted by basically every major Pro Bowler in the league. Point blank, period. So, watching that right there from the big guy right here, man, Nick Scorton. I want to say that Scorton. I don't know. What number is that? I can't really tell, but I'm just going to say your boy right here. If you do the right things like that right there, you're going to succeed. Whoever that player is, you know, claim credit for it. Claim credit. Because you did well. I'll shout you out. Alright. Bryce Young's throw, on target, good footwork, good hands, good discipline. Let's slow that down. Let's look at his throwing motion here. Good plant foot right here. Good throw. You see how he doesn't have the happy feet before he throws that ball? That's the difference between rookie Bryce and this year's Bryce. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. Because everybody's just like, oh, Bryce Young doesn't have great technique. He's just out of the third. Like, and y'all are looking at the same videos I am, which is crazy to me. Because we can have these debates all day long. End of the day, does Bryce succeed or does he not? With proper protection, with weaponry, and with his own skills. Point blank. That's what it comes down to. If he's not, then we can start having those discussions. But until then, I don't want to hear all those discussions. I'm not here for that. I'm here for what is the wide receiver doing? What is the offensive line doing? You know, during these plays. Are we using the correct play? Are we running the right routes? Are we doing the things that need to be focused on, you know, in order to make the entire play succeed? And it's not just Bryce, it's a culmination of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because if your line isn't protecting your quarterback cannot throw the ball. If your wide receiver is running the wrong route, but everybody else is doing their job, it's on the wide receiver. If that wide receiver does not catch the ball, that's on the wide receiver. You have failed that play. You know, you guys have done like Madden skills challenges, right? On Madden games. Even if you haven't played Madden, you still get what I'm talking about. You either pass or fail based on your own skill level and merit. You know, using that quarterback. If you're talking Madden stuff. So either you have the knowledge or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Either you are learning how to do it or you don't. And if you failed, what did you learn from it? That's always the thing. Is failure is inevitable. But what did you learn from it? That's what you take forward with you. And eventually, you succeed. You know, Thomas Edison created 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb, but he only needed one to make it work. Therefore, light bulbs in every home. Look around you. It's because of that one time that he succeeded. Everything succeeded beyond that. Because with light led to a lot of other things. So, and it's the smallest little thing, doesn't it? Isn't it? Because you're looking at, maybe it's the technique of an offensive lineman. Maybe it's the technique of a wide receiver. And everything goes right. That one catch can turn into two. That second 2 catches can turn into 4. That can turn into an entire drive and put points on the board. So, it's all about the small things, you know, when you go into this. Here's a great example of this with T-Mac with the tightrope catch. Look at this catch. Watch his footwork. Right along the sideline. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is going to lead to great things. If all of our wide receivers are able to do this, that toe tap right there, watch what happens when we start taking that to the next level. You know, we start turning our hips like he just did right there. You know, using our hands, using our body mobility. That's going to take it to the next level and push us forward. Let's see this reach, though. Beautiful reach. Beautiful reach. Shout out 18, man. Shout out 18 for that catch right there. Yes, sir. That's beautiful. Chuba, choo choo. Continues to be the last one off the field in training camp. You'll love to see it. Put in that extra work. My man. I love Chuba, man. I love this dude. Man. That dude is awesome. Alright, so I'm guessing that's it. Yeah, because it's just a bunch of extra stuff from here. We waived a quarterback. Excuse me. Who do we waive? What quarterback do we waive? We signed Trace Willing. I knew that. Who's the quarterback that we waived? Ethan Garbers. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Ethan was trying to make it in Jacksonville, I believe. And I don't think he ever did succeed for very long. Well, let me Google him real quick. Yeah, let me do a little research. Yeah, Rams. The Rams. That's who I was thinking of. Okay. Okay. Just had some baseball news come through my news feed. Sorry about that. He played for UCLA. That's where he got drafted from. But it was originally with the Washington Huskies. So he's a 6'2", 207. Guy from California. So, I mean, I had high hopes for Ethan, but, you know, we all knew that he was going to be either practice squad or cut. You know, it's not a flashy move, you know, from us, but we needed a corner. We needed to boost the corner competition right now because that is a point of emphasis. And whoever makes it through that fire and flames right there is going to make it to the regular season. There is a tight battle there. And I'm not sure that we've got the skill level that we're looking for, you know, to get a long-term third string or fourth string corner, you know, in those spots. I have high hopes for the guy that we signed that was formerly with the Vikings, but which I forget his name. Y'all have to remind me what his name is because I don't remember. But that's who I think is going to win that competition. I'll be able to tell you once I look at the roster. Enter to win 2 tickets and post-game field passes to the Browns versus Panthers. Sure. Let me out my screen. Y'all need to know my info. Heck yeah. Yeah, I'll enter into that. I'll do that. Nice. All right. Where's the text? Where's the text? Where's the text? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. I want those. I want those personalized marketing alerts, man, and news alerts. Shoot, yeah. Send them my way. All right. Grand prize winner will be announced 28th. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'll be on the lookout for that. That's what's up, though. Yo, I'm in. You already know I'm in. Go on the Panthers website, main website. You'll be able to enter into that. You got 4 days left. I don't know how long that's gonna last for, but I think you got 4 days left. Um, Before they announce the winner. So yeah, definitely go check that out. I'm in, for sure. I'm in. Y'all already know my first and last name, so you don't need to know the rest. That's why I hit all that. Let's see. All right, so we're looking at the corners now. You got Shamar Bartholomew. You got Travis Broughton, who I don't think is going to make it. He's a rookie from TCU. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Travis is going to make it. MJ Devonshire, unfortunately, probably going to be another cut victim. And Caleb Evans. Now, I got some hope for Caleb, though. I think he's going to stick around for a bit. Of course, you got J.C. Horn, Mike Jack 1 and 2. Respectfully. Michael Reed. Chow Smith Wade, of course, is going to make it. No question, he's going to be on that 53. Starting nickel position. Trey Swilling is the guy we just picked up. So Trey will be in the mix for that third or fourth spot. You got Drew Thornton as well. Corey Thornton as well. I'm sorry. Corey Thornton. I saw that D for Derek Brown. I thought, Drew, nah. I misread it. Sorry. Corey Thornton. He's a rookie from Louisville. I mean, we could try all these guys out. But like I said, man, are we getting the quality of talent that we're looking for third and fourth spot? Like we got in Troy Hill. And the comparison is Troy Hill. That's the bar we're trying to set, talent-wise. Because Troy Hill came out of nowhere and he started balling out for us at third spot. So, if we can find that level of talent, I think we're set. At third spot. Fourth spot, we need somebody of equal talent, but, just a little less on the mechanics side. At fourth spot, that still needs some work. That's the levels of talent that I'm looking for. So that way, when you go down the ladder of these quarters, you're not losing that much when these guys get injured. So it's just next man up, next man up, next man up, and you're not losing that talent level as you're going through the game. You're still getting the same pass production, pass blocking production. You're still getting the same tackling production. You're still getting the same, that you had before as you go down the ladder. That's what we're looking for, like we had in 2015, because that corner room was stacked. And I think the management in Carolina is starting to understand, what we're trying to do. And they're pushing for it. And an example of that is the running back position, because we got a stacked running back room, they're starting to understand that in a way that makes sense to them. So when you go through this corner room, I'm not seeing that level of Troy Hill talent that I'm looking for a third spot. But you never know. You never know. I've got high hopes for Caleb Evans. I think he may be the one that hits third spot on that depth chart, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to give Trey Swilling the same opportunity and same fair chance as everybody else. And so is the coaching staff, So we'll see. I don't want to put my hopes into one player and then be disappointed at this point, because I don't think that's fair to the rest of them. But I just don't see the separation yet. As we go through the training camp days, maybe we'll start to see that separation. That's my hope. Because that's what keeps happening every training camp. You start to see that separation as you go along into the second week. Because the first week, it's getting into the swing of things. It's getting the mechanics figured out. It's building the chemistry. And then, then there's an extra emphasis, in the second week on technique. Toughness, mental discipline. That's when you start to see these guys separate themselves from the others. And in the first week, it's interesting when you see that separation early, because that shows there's a lot of competition there, and there's a lot of heat and pressure on these players to make a difference early. Some of these guys will have a chip on their shoulder early, first few days. Princely, for example, I don't know that there was anybody that was really doubting him, before he came in. I certainly didn't. But if anybody was, let me know. But this dude had a chip on his shoulder early, and he started popping off and playing well just in the first couple of days here. So you just never know who's going to show up in the first few days. And it may surprise you. It's not going to be the people that you expect. For example, Pat Jones. Nobody expected him to get a pick today. And somehow he got one. So, it's all about making a statement if you're a player and catching the coach's attention. Because if you can do that consistently 2, 3, 4 times, in this month, you're going to start climbing the ladder. And you're going to have a much, much higher chance of making that 53. unless you're a veteran, and you've already been here. You're already just fighting to maintain status quo and make sure that the coaches stay watching you, as a starter. Stay in the headlines, stay in the pressers, stay wherever you're at. Just stay there, But again, progress with your body, with your mechanics, your production, whatever it may be that you have set your goals to, if you're a veteran. So, end of the day, it's all about progression. Whether you're a rookie, whether you're a free agent that's come in here, or whether you're a veteran that's been here for multiple years, it's all about progressing and moving forward. Improving yourself and being better than you were last year. Or, as Dave Canales says, better than yesterday. You're starting from zero today. Every day you're starting from zero, and you have to build yourself up. I like that. That's a great mentality to have in this team, and it's a very healthy one. So another one of the concerns was linebacker, right? So Nomura is one of those players I'm really looking forward to watching. I want to see this dude pop off. I want to see him blossom because he enamors Troy Polamalu so much, man. And that dude was an animal on the field. So if he could do even half of what Troy was doing, give him the middle linebacker spot. Because I have no doubt this dude is gunning for it. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He is pushing for it. And if he isn't, now's your chance. Nomura, we got a wide open spot right there, man. Somebody's got to take over Shaq's shoes, man. Those are big shoes to fill. I hope you can do it, brother. I got high hopes for you. I believe in you. I'm putting a lot of faith into Mr. Nomura here. I think he's the answer to that problem. It's either that or Trevin Wallace. Because as far as I'm concerned, Trevin Wallace shows a lot of the qualities of AJ Klein back in the early days when AJ Klein was a run-stopping monster. So, Trevin, learn all you can from AJ Klein's tapes, info, notes, anything that you can get your hands on. And Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis will help you. Go ask them for help. Ask them what they were seeing. Ask them what they encountered. What type of techniques did they use? These are the things that are going to up your game. And it's about consistently upping your game. If you're able to do that, you're going to succeed. So, Trevin, I expect to see your name pop up quite a bit, in training camp this month. Now that you're up and about and healthy and doing your thing, I need to see that name pop up in the news feed, brother, because I believe in you, Trevin Wallace. I do. I'm putting a lot of faith in this man right here. Don't let me down, bro. Don't let me down. And I know you won't. So, we're talking about Pat Jones. We're talking about a 6'4", 264-pound linebacker from Pittsburgh. Big dude, man. Big dude. Been in the league for about 5 years. Has 16 solo tackles, 7 sacks, and a forced fumble. So that's last year. Yeah, that dude's a problem. Once he gets developed and he starts doing his thing, he's gonna be a problem. If you put him in the right spots, that's the thing, Evero. You gotta put him in the right spots. You don't put him in the right spots. You play musical chairs with a player like that, you're gonna ruin him. And I mean, like, yeah, he can take a year to recover from any damage that you caused to any of these players. You know, if they've been in the league for 4 or 5 years, that's not too big of a hit for them. But it's still going to cost them a year or two. To get their act together and get back to where they need to be. So they're going to be relying on all those skills that they learned from prior teams, not from us. That's the problem. And by that point, they're cut. We end up cutting them for money or moving them for a draft pick or whatever we need to do. But end of the day, the franchise exists. But the players come and go. But the franchise is constant. So, and Dan is making constant moves, man. Constant moves. And he's already started it off just a few days ago. So, if you ain't making the A grade, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that man is not afraid to move you to somewhere where you will be taking care of business and making money. And it may not be in a Panthers uniform anymore. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Players like Icky that are on that border of losing their starter spots. Wake up. Because Dan ain't playing around, bro. Neither is Dave. They don't play that game no more. These guys are getting serious. Like, it's serious time now with this franchise. We ain't playing that, let's just put these guys on the field and let's hope that our head coach keeps his job this year. Nah. Miss me with all that this year. Miss me with that. Because that ain't what we doing anymore. So all these players, shoot, y'all better wake up. I want to see some competition this year. I want to see this training camp heat the heck up. This is the year where it starts. Where it really starts to ramp up. And if you ain't making the grade, man, I'm telling you, when that contract is up, every bit of what you're doing right now is going to be reflected in that decision process. Every bit of it. Make no mistake about it. This coaching staff will go all the way down the ladder and look at your training camp tapes too. Y'all think I'm playing? Pay attention, man. If you're a player, pay attention. I'm trying to help you. Because this is not going to... You're not going to stick around for very long if you don't get things done. How bad do you want it? That's the question I keep asking these players every single year during training camp. How bad do you want it? How hungry are you to make that 53? And not only that, stay there. Don't get lazy just because you made the 53. And you start, yeah, man, I got a big contract. Stop. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. You better keep going 100%. You make that 53-man roster. That means you have made an impression on this coaching staff. And they expect you to keep going at 100%. At the same level you were going at before. Non-stop. Because that's how you got there to begin with. Keep that same hunger. Don't let it dissipate. Keep that same hunger. And I see a few players, that I'm looking at y'all right now, man. I'm looking at y'all. There's a lot of rookies and a lot of young guns on this team trying to take your spots. Look at all these R's. Look at all these R's, y'all. And first years. Look at all these young guys. Look at the ages. Uh-huh. Look at all this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These young guys trying to take your spot, bro. What you think about that? What you gonna do about that? If you're a veteran on this team, what you gonna do about that? That's all you right there. You make the decision whether you want to keep going or not. You make the hard call based on your body. Whether you want to keep pushing, you keep staying where you're at. And if you're one of the new the camp invitees, stay hungry. Your opportunity will come. But you got to make a difference, man. You got to make an impact. You got to catch these coaches' attention. You can't just sit on your laurels and just say, well, I did the best I could today. Push yourself further. Because when you push yourself further, don't get yourself hurt now. But push yourself further. Get these coaches' attention. And when you get these coaches' attention, that's when your opportunity will come. Because some of these veterans kind of slack off a little bit, and that's your opportunity, man. That's your window. Man, oh man. There's a few sleepy players on this team, man. I seen them. I seen a few of these names, man, and I know who they are. I ain't gonna call y'all out. Y'all know who you are. Y'all know exactly who you are. But if I see y'all slacking, man, these rooks about to get you into the corner. Then what you gonna do? The only answer is box back. That's the only answer. What you do when somebody boxes you into the corner? You box back, bro. So, let's see that competition heat up, man, from both ends. Let's see it heat up. I want to see some fire. I want to see some passion in these players. This is the year that it needs to happen, man. It needs to start right now. I wasn't as big on that last year because we were trying to figure out who we were. But now that we know who we are, now that we built the corner foundations, now that we built, and put a little bit of flesh on that bone of this team and this roster, now I need to see y'all start to heat up, man. Because this is how you catch and keep the coach's attention. This is how you get on that 53. This is how you fight and stay on that 53. So what you gonna do? Players, what you gonna do about it? You gonna sit there and eat some Bojangles like KB? Or are you gonna go out there and fight for it? Y'all gonna sit there with a bucket of Bojangles like Kelvin Benjamin? Or are you gonna fight for these spots, man? Because for real, this ain't the New York Jets. Please. This ain't Arizona. Where you just got a contract and you just sit there and just go, well, I just got paid. Alright. I ain't got to do nothing else. I got paid. I already paid off my bills. I already got my mansion. I already got my cars. I already got my boat. I already got my lady. Now what? Now what? See? That's when these guys start to get themselves into trouble. Because they get bored with this crap. You know? When they need to be focused on the reason that they get paid in the first place. They need to return their focus to that. And that's why I get so concerned with these NFL players, man. They just keep getting themselves in trouble, bro. You know, you got to have some mental discipline. You know, I understand some of these people came from certain situations, but you got to have some discipline, you know, and understand, you know, you're in a different place now. It's a different way of living now. But you still can carry some of that old mentality with you. That's fine. You know, nobody's saying you can't. But now you're in a different place at this point in time. What are you going to do with that? You know? Are you going to use some of that money to help out the community? Are you going to, you know, there's a number of different things you can do. Heck, man, Cam was running the dang soup kitchens, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to create like a youth camp? You know, what are you going to do with it? With your time and your money? You know, instead of get yourself in trouble. So, my whole thing is like, if they got something to do, man, they gonna get out. They gonna stay out of trouble. Most of them. Some of them, they just are who they are, and it is what it is. But you know, and you can't reach everybody. But this team doesn't have any of those types of players on it. Have you noticed that? We have very disciplined players that are focused on trying to stay on track now. See, with New York and Arizona, they got, you only end up there if you want to back. You know, you pass through, you get your bag. Okay, cool. Now what? Now what? For some of these players, their mindset is, I already got my money. Why do I need to keep playing? Why do I need to put in the effort? Why do I need to do this, that, or the third? You know? And that's that stupid mindset, man. That, God, man. I've seen so many players fall into that trap over the years. Look, man. I'm going to use you one example, one great example of a player that was up in New York. And this dude is totally different from everybody else that was up there. And this is a good example of like why one player doesn't represent the whole. You know? The whole does not represent itself. You know, you've got some players that are able to get out of that and do great things. One player in particular, I forget his name, But I saw the story, and I did highlight this on stream before. But um, he spent about X amount of years in the league, and then he finally decided, okay, we got COVID hitting. At the time, the hospitals needed help. And his family were very good at medical things of that nature, and so was he. He was very intelligent. So what he did was because he wasn't finding the success he was looking for in football, he retired and he went and helped out the hospitals. And joined his family doing all that. And as of now, I don't know what he's doing, but it's probably something in the medical field. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's a player that is focused on the right things. Because he's not thinking, okay, I'm bored now. We got all this other, let's go to the club. Let's do all this nonsense, man. And it takes away their focus from the game itself and why you got paid. And I'm not saying that some of this stuff isn't good because it's relaxing for these players, but for some of this, it takes away from your mentality from the game and why you got paid in the first place. So you got to return that focus back to where it needs to be. Let's get energized. Let's get into it again. This is why you're in the NFL. This is why you got this big bag. But I've seen so many players end up, in those situations in New York and Arizona and in Cleveland, of all places, and they're just like, why should I put in the effort? I got my bag. Why should I put in the effort? And that's exactly the wrong mentality, bro. That's how you get yourself kicked out of the league right there. It won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. But eventually, keep that same mentality, you out. And best of luck to you after that. That's what the league says. Wherever you end up. Good luck with your future endeavors. But that is not this team. This is not this franchise. These guys are laser focused on what they want. Every one of these guys on this roster has a hunger. And it's going to lead to great things. Let's see what we got with the presser. I want to do the presser real quick. Hold up. Where's the presser? Is there anything that we really need to focus on? All right. 9 hours ago, press conference. Oh, okay. Let's see what we got for day 2. Do 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 do. They play all that funky music, NFL music, for the people come out. There we go. Y'all literally wasted 25 minutes of everybody's time waiting on a press conference. 25 minutes. Shoot. Alright, let's go. What we got?
talk to him after practice and say,
We did, and I think it was cool for me to talk to the guys. Like, what looked like Princely going for the ball, you got to wait and see the film. We watched the film. He was actually trying to avoid. Bryce didn't have anywhere to go in the pocket. So as he pulls his arm back, he kind of hits him, but you can see Princely running kind of by. Still made a point of it, right? It's still great to teach the guys in those moments, but just another great, teachable moment for the whole groups. Hey, let's not pass judgment on what happened. I saw the play kind of, but I didn't see specifically. We'll be able to rewind it, 10 times and figure out what happened. But had a couple other good rushes today by Princely, so every day shows up and does something good. I'm really encouraged with, the effort, first and foremost, that he's giving and the strain to finish all the way through practice.
Now, while you're focused on Princely, are we still focused on Icky's lack of technique and footwork at the same time? Are we looking at that too? That's my question for you, Mr. Canales.
JC and T-Mac compete a little bit in 11s. There was the deep ball. What did you see on that play? And then also, how can JC make him a better wide receiver?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Position to position. The guys you go against in practice is how we become us. It's how we find our best. When you bring your best, you bring out the best in the guy across from you. And, JC just kind of owning his land, his territory right there in that situation, cutting off the deep ball is going to teach T-Mac how to get in position, how to, reduce his surface to try to get back on top, or do I need to stop and pop, against a really big, strong, fast corner, as big and fast as they come. So really brings out the heart of competition.
Austin.
It'll bring out the best in Tet too, because J.C. Horn is playing basically like 75% of the veterans in the NFL at this point, if not pretty much most of them. So like, it's going to bring out the best in Tet, to where it forces him to learn all these things, in the first few years. And then once he gets all that down, and you start to see a really, really heated up competition between these two during practices, during the regular season, that's when it's going to really sink in for Ted. And he's going to be able to apply that against corners around the league. So let's see what he learns. I'm excited to see what he learns.
Cade, we've seen the kind of mix up. What's your outlook on the competition as you guys enter and get ready for pads?
Yeah, I think we're just going to let them both kind of play it out and alternate days with who goes with Bryce. That chemistry matters, how the whole group works with communication and all those things. We're looking at all of it, and we're going to evaluate it, and I love competition. I love asking guys to bring their best. They don't have to go above and beyond who they are, but it requires all of you, when you're in a competition, there's good, depth within your position.
Pat Jones was back in coverage, made a play today. What was it about him you saw this offseason that kind of made you target him in free agency?
Effort, strain, first and foremost. We preach rolling off the ball, setting edges in the run game, transitioning to your pass rush, and just being able to play that stout type of defense. And, watching his film from last year, generating, I forget what it was, 8.5 sacks or something like that. But, just the way that he did it with strain, the physical way that he chased the ball on the backside, played stout on the front side is what we're looking for. And so a great addition, a great pro in that room where you got a couple of young guys from the draft in Princely and Nick, to look at DJ Wanham, to look at Pat Jones, DJ Johnson, who's been around the system, to see the type of physicality it requires to play the position.
The additions to the defensive line and the efforts to bolster the run game, when will you get a sense of how much that will change? So when the pads go on, do you have a sense already of how helpful those additions will be?
Well, right now we're practicing without Derek Brown and Bobby Brown, so I think that's going to be another big part of that interior rotation of how we use guys. But Ashawn and Turk, Jaden Crumity, Shai Tuttle, of course, and then adding Cam Jackson and Jarrett Harrison Hunt. These guys, there's a bunch of really talented athletes in that room with different skill sets. You got your big power guys, you have some twitchier guys like Turk, who can really get off the ball and present some problems that way. So I think it just gives us versatility in what we can do, how we can, play the opponent's run, whatever their system might be, and kind of take our approach from there. For us, again, like a lot of these guys have played a lot of pro ball, so we have a good amount of film on some of the veteran guys that we know we can count on to play tough in the run. But it is really cool to get into pads, for those guys to really show, what they can do. And there's advantages to both sides right now. There's less of a surface for the O-line to grab on at this point, but at the same time, it's also some of those guys like playing lower with their pads. So all those things kind of come to life, in a couple of days.
Jack Henderson.
Yeah, I noticed that as well when I was watching these guys in pads during training camp last year, during the 2 days that I was up there. Because I was looking at specifically like O-line versus D-line drills, one-on-ones. You would have like Icky, one-on-one versus a D lineman. And you would have to, if you're Icky, you have to focus on your technique, watch your hands, watch your footwork, and just, when they have the pads, they do go lower. So I have noticed that too. Yeah. He's got a point on that.
It's kind of like a unique body type, kind of more Seattle-y than some of the other safeties. What is it about like the length and size that appeals to you as well as his talent?
Yeah, it's cool. If you go back to his college film, he was like a flex wheel linebacker type, which really is a nickel spot. He's got great size. He's slimmed up a little bit from his college playing days, but his size and length, athleticism, and ability to play in space, which you've already seen. He was an edge blitzer in some of the stuff they did. He's having to carry seams. He's having to do a lot of things we ask our safeties and our nickels to do. So we felt like it was a really cool scheme fit, and and for him, the key for all the young guys is how can they contribute on special teams, and so that's going to be the challenge is, can he learn what we're doing, and can he show us that he can make it happen in these preseason games?
Interesting. Okay, so this dude could play a little bit of nickel. Okay. So I did ask for a little bit of help with Charles Smith-Wade, to help him out at nickel position. And, a little bit of depth would be nice. And apparently Dave Canales had already seen that on tape where this dude plays nickel, so that helps out Charles Smith-Wade a little bit. And takes the heat off of him. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, of course you put him in special teams. And, yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that about him. So, I'm learning a little bit more about these players as we go along. And training camp helps a lot with that. So, let's keep putting the pieces together. Let's learn a little bit more.
How long do you anticipate extending the kicking competition into? I know, that's every roster spot this time of year is valuable.
I don't know that right now, but I do know we got to give them fair opportunities to kick here, on the skinny uprights, and also to get into some games, and see if we can count on them and from what distance, to make that decision. And of course the kickoff comes into play, and who can place it just inside that 20, and let the.
That's another dumb question right there. Like, we already know this kicking competition is going to go towards the end of the month before it's finally settled. That's how it was last time, too. Like, come on, Joe. Pay attention, man.
The ball run a little bit to give our coverage unit an
Dang,
advantage.
go,
So all
man.
those things are going to come into it. We need more opportunities to be able to make that.
Certainly,
Every
at
time-
least through a game or.
I would hope so, yes.
They've both.
Bro, you come into these pressers with the same dumb questions every time, bro. Come on, man. Where did y'all dig this guy up from?
Done well over the last 2 days, but
My God.
you have to kind of reserve judgment when the normal snapper, the normal holder isn't kind of available.
That's definitely a part of it. Getting Sam healthy to get him back out to practice. Andy's doing a great job. Thielen came up to me during practice, said he held in college, and with gloves on. So he was kind of asking the kickers, does it matter if a guy has gloves on? I can do it in a pinch, and their response was, we like guys whose hands aren't beaten up from diving and catching and blocking. So a little more reliable hands as your backup quarterback if it's not the punter.
Thank you. Finally, a relevant freaking question when it comes to the kicking competition. Thank you. Nobody's asked that yet. And that's an important one. Because the placeholder, for the kickers, is so important, man. If you're not holding it correctly, and it can lead to a missed kick. If you're not doing your job, how is the kicker supposed to do his job? Fair point. So, hey, relevant question. Very relevant question. Good question. I like that.
Jimmy,
When was the last time Jimmy Horn helped?
Shoot, I don't know. I'll have to ask him that.
Now, Jimmy, you had a speed coming in, Jimmy Horn. What else are you seeing out of him that makes you feel like you got a chance? Because you got a lot of receivers. It's hard for guys to get a look sometimes.
Yeah, I just love the way that he plays football. It's full speed all the time. Some guys, we have to really teach them how to get into a walkthrough mode. He's one of those guys. Everything he does is fast. I think about Devin Tompkins, who I love, who was here last year, and they just bring out the best in everybody because, when they're out there, they're going 100 miles an hour, full speed, and they're looking to take the top off. So I love that style about Jimmy and what he's shown us, whether it's in drills or in the team periods, he's just all gas.
How do you feel about the possibility of keeping 7 wide receivers?
Yeah, we got to see. Again, those last couple of spots, whether it's in the secondary room or the wide receiver room, really comes down to who we can count on in special teams. We're big believers. That's part of the heart and soul of our philosophy of building this team is good football players. And those guys show up in the kicking game. They can cover and make tackles. They can play gunner. You can put them as returners. You can put them at PP, so it's the versatility of the skill players, tight ends included, who are the guys we can count on special teams. That's really what's going to make the decision because, again, you get one ball, you got about 3 wide receivers, sometimes 4 out there, so you're really playing with about 4 guys, and those 5th or 6th guys sometimes, it's hard to find those guys a role. It's the same thing in the secondary. So when they can play teams, you always got a helmet for them because they're going to help us regardless, on our special teams
Good
in
point.
those units.
See how Patrick Jones.
That's a good question, man. How do y'all feel about us carrying 7 wide receivers on a 53-man roster? Let me know. How do y'all feel about that?
When he had to pick over the middle. What's that show about his skills?
Yeah, it was just great vision, quarterback intentions. He's in that bonus hook area like he does, and he kind of dropped back, got to his spot, and got vision on the quarterback. That's the veteran play in his in his game right now that a lot of the other guys are going to be able to see. Get to your spot and see where the quarterback's eyes are taking you, and so he did it beautifully. And of course, he's 6'5", and I didn't know he could catch like that. So that was an amazing play.
Is Timo a load management situation for his knees, or what is it?
I think just in generally for Timo, I think the guy's been so dependable here. It's great for us to be able to get his work in. He's tireless in individual periods. He's a pro's pro. He does need the live reps, but within reason, and then it just gives Yash an opportunity to work on his craft, and some of the other tackles that we have to get out there and show us what they can do as well.
Time to see.
Relevant question, finally. Relevant question from this dude. About freaking time. Because Taylor Moton is a key piece of this starting 5, man. And, you got to make sure that the starting 5 are solid and on the field. And, you know what they say about availability.
Rico up close on the field. What kind of stands out and pops off about him?
I think for Rico, it's the consistency, and I think just being a well-rounded running back, he can do it all. He catches well in the backfield. He's got patience and vision. He can run with power. He's got really good speed, and then I think the cherry on top is he's an amazing pass protector. Just IDing things and the way he shows up really firm on linebackers when they're blitzing. This is something that I've seen from him from a couple of years now. But I think just the well-rounded player that he is, and again, he doesn't say much. He just works hard. He's looking to run with violence, and that's the kind of style of guy that we like here.
Run with violence. Ooh. You like hearing that right there? That's ooh. And this dude can pick up blitzes too? Nice pickup, Dave Canales and Dan Morgan. Nice pickup. Because that's one of the things we really struggled with last year was picking up blitzes. Our running backs could not block a beach ball when it came to blitzes. It was so bad. These guys got into the backfield and it was just straight up over. Bryce was running for his life. You know, if they made it past that offensive line, you're cooked. So, I mean, now we finally got that running back that can pick up those blitzes, you know, and handle some of these blitz packages that some of these defenses are going to throw at you. So that's good, man. That's real good. I want to see Rico out there. Get him some reps.
A couple more.
Coach, how important is having a veteran quarterback like Andy running with the second team and the third team just to give these guys quality reps and develop the rest of the unit, the running backs, the wide receivers, the young tight ends that you want to develop?
It's amazing, and I'm glad you brought that up because it allows us to evaluate all the other skill players as you see the ball get distributed where it's supposed to go. And I got to say for Jack Plummer, he does the same thing for us, and Jack's one of the more conscientious rookies that we had last year, and the way that he was able to learn our system, be a part of the game plan dialogues and offer all of that. Those guys bring a lot of value to the quarterback room in general, but then to your point, also to the team, not just for the offensive guys. We need to see the secondary players make plays down the field. So when Andy can push the ball up the field or Jack can push the ball up the field, we get to evaluate our young safeties and our young corners as well. So it's very important.
Tommy was doing some
good answer on that. He's exactly right. It challenges these corners, it challenges the safeties, and it makes them make plays. So, I like this, man. I like this a lot. I think we made a wise decision with Jack as our third string quarterback, man. Yes, sir.
some catching for Bryce and just some rehab on
Development
the
is
side.
there.
It looked like he was pretty fluid in his
Yeah.
routes. Is it just about being able to handle the physicality with his rehab?
Yeah, I think so. I think a big part of it is the initial evaluation of, of what this type of surgery requires to get you fully strong, to get the explosive movements and change of direction that you need. He's working in that progression, but I wouldn't say he's been cut loose for all the change of direction. He's doing a lot of inline stuff with a little bit of routes right now, but then we're going to have to get him in some short space stuff, have him pushing a sled and doing all those things, which can obviously requires more of your body. So I think it's just a natural progression, but he is on track and he's doing a great job.
That's an excellent answer on that. And that just shows his knowledge of, like, what it takes for these players to return to where they were, through these rehab processes. So, I've never seen a head coach come through Carolina that's really talked about that stuff in depth like he just did right there. I'm very impressed that he knows all of this. And he's able to, talk fluently about it without having to look at a sheet or a screen or anything like that. He just understands this knowledge and is able to convey it to everybody in a truthful and honest way. That's cool, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Good questions, Matt. Good questions. What do we got?
Is he kind of now get?
He's a gym rat no matter what. I'm sure if opportunity came knocking, he'd definitely give it an opportunity. But yeah, so we'll see.
We saw yesterday Princely kind of had to be reminded about quarterback, but Dave said on film review he sort of was trying to avoid Rice. What did you have any kind of follow-up with him about that play?
Yeah, it was a good play. Actually, right after the play happened, I told Coach E kind of got on him a little bit, so I had to set the record straight. Like, nah, that was a good play. He tried to run past the quarterback. So yeah, it was a good play. I don't think he was tempo violent and doing nothing like that. It was just a good, solid play on Princely.
What does that have to do with Icky? Like, once you get past Icky, then it's not his concern anymore. Because he's already chased down the quarterback in the backfield. Like, you've already screwed up. You've already let him back there. Okay, so the only answer he's going to give you is, post-play. Okay, this is the interchange that we had, conversation-wise. So, I honestly, I don't know what you're expecting out of that, answer-wise, out of that question, but, he's only going to be able to answer post-play.
Nicky, what are you seeing for these young pass rushers this year? The team maybe lacked last year.
These young guys definitely got some juice. Definitely got some juice to them. I really feel like the defense as a whole has just been revitalized in a way. Those guys have been day in and day out. They've been trying to set the tone every day, and offense we're trying to set it too. And it's led to some great matchups here during camp. It's going to lead to some great matchups moving forward. So, yeah, defense have been balling. I'll give them some credit.
Yeah, and it also puts you on notice, Icky. It puts you on notice, bro. Because you can't keep getting by with what you've been getting by with, bro. You're going to have to up your game. You've been settling, and the team has been covering up for you for the past four years, bro. It's time to stop settling and up your game. And Princely is going to get you out of your comfort zone and force you to up your game. So, let's see it, man. Let's see it.
Studied them much on film just to know what they can do, or is this that part of the learning process? Right?
Of course, but also we had the whole spring as well, so I got to go out here and work with them live. So that was definitely a plus, getting some of that film out there. But no, those guys definitely got some juice to them.
When you get to see Rico up close, like in he's running between y'all, what kind of pops off about him?
The speed, obviously, but I just feel like Rico just an all-around solid, all-purpose back. I don't know, y'all are better at labels than I am, but I feel like that's definitely a label I describe him as. He can really do it all. He can run out the backfield. He can catch out the backfield. So definitely very well-rounded.
You guys coming to this year on the offensive line with Damon back next to you. Of course, Caden also trying to figure out what's going to happen there. But how important is it for your unit overall to have that continuity and any kind of goals you guys have set? Take a step forward again this upcoming season.
First and foremost, it's definitely rare, retaining as many guys as we did, so it's definitely a blessing in that aspect. But I feel like it's definitely a good opportunity for us to grow more and more, and, getting more and more connected. And I feel like the more time we spend together, just we're going to play that much better. And I'm definitely excited to have all those guys back.
Rob said y'all hang out, but to a point. I think someone said, did y'all hang out this summer? He's like, no, not during the summer. Is that pretty accurate? And is there a saturation point where you're like, okay, I need a break from these guys?
I don't know about saturation point, but everybody kind of has their own summer plans. Obviously, Rob had some big plans this summer that, was very personal with him and his family. So congrats to Rob and Jules and everybody. But, obviously we're back now. We're going to be spending 6 months together, whether we like it or not. But, good thing we love it. So it's definitely fun being around those guys and fellowshipping.
Who do you think is the best post-up player in the offensive line room?
Is that what y'all asked Rob yesterday when he came and started doing all that? Best post-up? I'm going to give credit to Yash. Yash is pretty stout. I think he has a little bit of a basketball background, but he reminds me a lot of Tim Duncan in demeanor. So I'm assuming that translates a little bit to the basketball court as well.
What's your game based on?
I think I'm a little bit of a slasher, I feel like I'm heavier than the average forward, but I still put myself at that three. I can do it all. I can shoot, I can drive, so I'm gonna be that three.
In the comp, or who's the comp?
No, Halliburton's a PG, but nah. I'm not gonna say that, but I'll say maybe
Okay.
There's this one cat, young guy. I think his name's like Clifton Jr. or something like that. He had a two-way contract for a while.
That's all good, man.
Everybody kind of counted him out because
I'm here for the football content.
A little bit. I was with JV though, so.
You've talked to us before about you wanting to be here, and I know you guys had some talks in the spring. How confident are you? You think something could potentially get done before the season, or What do you think timeline-wise?
Well, I'm not going to talk timeline, obviously. You know what I was going to say. I'm going to let my agent handle that one and everything like that. But I've always said I want to be here. This is, people always say this is home for me, but this is literally my home. Like, born and raised here, grew up a Panther fan, so definitely want to wear that processed blue as long as I can. So hopefully we can definitely get something done.
Yeah, I don't want to force you to have a Marvel comparison to all your teammates, but what you've played next to Damian Lewis, like last year, he had a really good year. What have you learned from him now that you have a full calendar year of knowing him?
Excellent question. Excellent question. That's exactly what I was going to ask. What did you learn from those games that you did well in? Excellent question.
So I'm not gonna lie. While you was talking, I was thinking of a Marvel comparison.
No way.
So can you please redo the question? My fault. I'm so sorry.
Just generally, what have you learned about Damian?
Yeah, I mean, Damien is obviously a great guy, family man, keeps God first in his life. So personality-wise, off the field life, definitely.
That wasn't the question. Ask it again. Ask it again, homie. Because the first question was, what did you learn from these veterans now that you've had a full calendar year? He ain't just talking about Damian. He talking about the whole doggone offensive line. What have you learned? What did you learn from the times that you were successful on that field versus the times that you were struggling with your technique and your footwork? What did you learn? That's what I want to see a reporter ask him. Just man up and ask him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or lady up and ask him. Whichever it may be. I want somebody to ask him that question. Because that's the answer we need right there. What did you learn?
Definitely a guy that I want to stay closer to. But also on the field, you see he's a dog. He likes to move guys around. He likes to bully guys on the field. And that's definitely a mindset I buy into. So definitely excited to have Damien here next to me this year.
I mean, but what did you learn from him? Yeah, all those things are great. But did you take any of that with you into your game? That's what he's trying to ask. That's what he's trying to get at. With all due respect, Icky. We're trying to figure out, like, where's your mind at, bro? Much love to you.
I don't know why I
But
forgot
we're
all
trying
the
to find
names.
out where your mind at.
I haven't seen the Guardian Galaxy movie in a while, but
Man.
the alien guy, he's played by the.
Stupid questions. All right.
Off the field, on the field, just being away from everything.
Well, I'd say I like the weather out here. It's hot, and knowing
It
that it's not
definitely is
gonna be
that.
cold as where I was just at is a good thing to me.
It's definitely hot.
Willing to trade the humidity for the lack of a harsh winter.
we gonna change that around here.
Turk, how much
Another pointless question.
run
Come on.
defense is scheme, and how much is just
Anybody
effort
would.
and sort of want to, and guys just battle?
I think a lot of things in football are scheme. That's both sides of the ball. But you gotta kind of just want to be a dog when you playing run defense. And we got a lot of guys that's willing to do that.
There you go.
Obviously came from a great culture and mentality and franchise. What have you noticed about the mentality and culture here as a guy?
Oh yeah, I'd say that I think every team around the league wants to win. So the culture that Coach Reed built over there is something that he's known for, not just with them but the Eagles. And Coach Canales come from cultures of winning as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we starting to build in the right direction, and all the guys are buying into what the coaches want. So the culture here is
Good.
definitely going to change.
Good.
Give on Pat's interception today.
I think he was a little surprised when he caught it, how he started running with the ball. But, it's good to see guys like Pat make plays. He knew here as well. So it was just good to see him get it. And, we got to tell him to tuck the ball away.
Good, man.
Was he a little loose with it?
Yeah, a little loose with the ball. You know, I think it surprised him. I think he wanted to go down. I don't know if he was ready for it or not.
They knocked
Yeah,
it
they
out
got
right.
him. Right at the end.
Interception before?
I did have an interception. I think my interception came against the Commanders. You know, I pinned it to somebody's head. I think my interception kind of looked cooler. That was my second year, so 2021.
Jaden.
It was Heineke.
Touchdown in college.
In college. I got two of them in college. One for 81 yards and then the other one for 64. So I could run a little bit.
Were they were home?
So with a little trifecta right there.
You remember? You sound like you remember every detail about those.
Yeah. You know, we always big on details.
81 yards and 64.
64. You know, you're gonna get some rushing yards in there.
Dumb question again.
Your story is one of the better underdog stories in the NFL right now.
Same
have
dude.
you talked to the undrafted free agent guys that have come out here? What have you said?
Oh yeah, I think every year that I've been in the league, I always talk to the undrafted guys, just because it's more undrafted guys than drafted guys in the league, of course. And just telling them to stay humble and hungry. You know, it's kind of a day-to-day thing that, you know, you could get in your head about where you standing at. You know, you have a bad practice, you probably put your head down, but just knowing that everybody here to compete, and we all getting judged the same, you know. So just telling them to stay true to who they are. You know, we all got here for a reason.
Stay true to who you are. Ooh. Very true. Very true. Hungry and humble was the word usage he used right there, and I like that because that's exactly what I was talking about, man. These guys, you got to stay hungry and humble if you want to play in this league and stay on these 53-man rosters, or even get on the 53-man roster. He's exactly right.
And just going out there and give your best effort every day.
You had
that for
somebody
you
in
when-
Kansas City when you first got there who gave you kind of a similar message?
I think I just kind of went in myself knowing, you know, they was coming off of a huge victory when I got there, and then we came in COVID, so it was kind of different. But guys like Tyron and Frank Clark, Chris Jones, they kind of just always talked to me based off what I was doing on the field. You know, they was impressed by everything. So those type of guys just always stood next to me.
Turk, as somebody who has to go against Rico, what kind of stands out about his game now that you've seen it from?
With each other when we came out of college. But Rico is one of those guys that he got everything to him. You know, he could catch out the backfield. And, you know, coming off the ball, when he got it in his hand, he's dangerous. But you know, as of right now, we competing, so I gotta make sure I stop him. But like I said, he brings everything to a team that's needed as a running back that could do all. And I even seen him return punts before in his career. So he's just a good guy.
There you go. Dude's done his
Stood out
homework on
to
him.
you on that defensive front in light of the fact that you don't have Bobby or Derek right now?
I think Ashawn, every day that we in meetings, everybody answering questions. You know, nobody's lagging behind when coach asks the questions. Everybody knowing what they supposed to be doing and knowing their responsibilities and their assignments. So I say the whole group is standing out to me.
Good.
In the same vein with Josie Jewell's departure earlier this week, how have Christian Roseman and Trevin Wallace been doing it, not just as performance, but also as communicators and leaders and stuff?
I mean, yeah, I think Roseboom, he just got here, so he's out there communicating with us. You know, he's giving us the calls, and you know, just doing our job, we should know a few things that should help him. You know, being in defense, we need to know what we're supposed to do, so we can help him out by knowing what we're supposed to do and being able to align ourselves. But he's doing a great job.
Good stories from your first 6 months in Charlotte.
First 6 months, right now I just been locked in, man. You know, it's all about going to get a win, so that's what I got it going right now.
Yeah. Fair.
Thank you all.
That's a fair question, honestly, because it allows us to kind of get an idea of mindset wise who he is and what he's focused on. So, fair question. I'll give him credit for that one. He gets credit for that question for sure. Let's see. It's on Facebook. I know there was a particular YouTube short that went around today. Did anybody post it? Oh, look at that! Look at that foot movement and that body control by Hunter. Yeah, my man Hunter Renfro. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. Mm-hmm. God, I love seeing him do that in a Panther uniform, man. It's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Alright, let's see. I don't think anybody posted that, man. I need to put it in the team chat, didn't I? Yeah, I think I'll send it to the team chat. There it is. There it is. Y'all need to see this right here. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We got fire with them, man. We got fire with these guys on.
Hell yeah.
God. Dang. That's got me amped up, boy.
Hell yeah.
That right there has got me amped up. Whew, I could watch that about 100 times, man. That makes me want to put us on the freaking pads and get on the field, man. Jeez. I'm saying, though. That's what you want to see right there for your pass rushers. That's what you want to see. God. Woo. Y'all making me want to run through a wall right now with that right there. That's electrifying right there. We all felt that one. Yeah. Alright, let's see some Panthers highlights from today. Let's see what we got. Start from the front. Okay. Just riding out on the scooter. Just having fun. I like seeing that. Alright, there's that footwork. That's a drill for the running backs. They're trying to knock that ball loose as it's going through the pile right there. That's a little out route. Beautiful looking catch there. Right on target. Yeah. Look at the footwork. Look at the toe tap. That's what you want to see right there. That I want to watch again. Let me watch that again. Because you're looking for technique, you're looking for footwork, you're looking for how these guys are set, when they're hitting the pads. So, looks good. Good body control, good strength. Good lower body movement. And there's JC demonstrated how you're supposed to turn your body right there on those plays, on those particular drills. Very good. Yeah. Gotta love AI. They just make them bigger. Okay. Cool. The sounds of summer. But there you go. That's what we got right there for you. One more time with the safety. With the catch there. Keeping his eye on the ball. Going backtracking. Turning his body. Excellently done. And that's what you're looking for. I'm not seeing anything I don't like at the moment. And in previous years, you would see like some of these safeties get a little bit lazy with the body movement and the foot and the backtracking. So that's really the only things that I've seen that I was concerned with back in the day. When we had Frank Wright and Matt Rule running the team. But now, like it's more so like disciplined and focused and just an extra emphasis on the footwork and the body control. So, and it's even in just small little drills like this, you'll see it. Like, it's such a difference because they're putting that extra little effort into it that they should be putting into it to do the drills correctly. Instead of just, I'm just going through the motions and just, I've already got paid, so what? Why should I play for this head coach? Why should I play for this management? Type deal. Let's just get through the year and just make my money. Progress strength-wise in the weight room, all that. But there's such a difference in the mentality and the energy now. And you're seeing it. Just even in little drills like this. The extra effort. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's beautiful to see it. Because now we look like a competitive team finally. We look like we actually want to do something. Rather than just go through the motions and just get through the year. So, you're going to see that type of energy manifests itself into the regular season. Once we get started, These games are going to look much, much different than during Frank and Matt Rule if you're just about joining back with us, And you didn't really watch last year all that much. So if you were focused on it and you only saw the last 4 games of last year, that's what you should have been concerned with. It's the Eagles game, the Chiefs game, those games, ever since we came out of went into London, England, that's what I want everybody to focus on because that's who we are trying to become, is that team right there. So can we carry that momentum into 2025? Into training camp, OTAs, preseason, regular season. That's the energy we're looking for. And you're seeing it in these drills that we just watched today. I'm very, very encouraged by this and very excited because this is the beginning of something really, really good. Um, and of course, we're going to honor and celebrate that Focus Friday. You know, we'll do a special stream. You know, celebrating, what the team accomplished. You know, going into London on that Friday. You know, that's when the team really woke up and found chemistry and just got their heads into the game and really, really showed that they were hungry and cared. So we'll be honoring that day for sure. Because the more we progress into that team that we want to become, success over a number of years, not just one or two, but several years, that day becomes even more and more and more relevant as you go along. Because that's the day we finally showed some backbone and some balls as a team. And forgive me for being so blunt, but that's exactly what we did. There's no other way to put it. And it's something we've been waiting for a long, long time. As we've been struggling as a franchise, just going through fire and brimstone and you name it. This franchise has been through it. So, to see a day like that become such a highlight, and to carry that into even just the training camp drills that we're doing and watching today is such a beautiful thing. It's awesome. So, I'm excited. The future is bright for this team, and this year's going to look real good. We may not make any noise in the playoffs, later on, but as long as we can fight and claw our way into the playoffs or have a shot at it, I'd say we have made progress. Major, major progress. Like I've said, the target is 9 wins. If we can hit that target and get 9 wins, we're in the conversation. Whether we do anything past that point or not, we're in the conversation. People are going to be talking about us in a very, very positive way. And that's what we want. Because we can carry that into 2026 and into 2027 and into 2028 and on and on and on. Because that momentum is going to carry us towards a championship at some point down the line. As long as we stay on the train. I'm with it, man. I'm with y'all all the way there. I'm on that train. If you ain't on that train with us, jump on. Now's your chance. Don't try to jump on that bandwagon later on and say, "Oh, I wish I had." I'm trying to tell you, now is your chance. The door is open for you. The water is fine. Ladies and gentlemen, the water is fine in Carolina. But yeah, excellent day 2. Look forward to more. Is there anything else that really needs to be covered? I don't know. From day 2. I don't see anything else. If I missed anything, I'll cover it in day 3. But I think we're good. I think we're good. can somebody tell me why Justin Blackman fell to the 6th round in the first place? People who follow Colorado told Panthers culture, size, inconsistent hands, and injury issues. But I actually think there was a great bargain late in the draft. I'm excited, and I hope they make room for him to get touches. That's who they talking about? Oh, okay. Okay. This dude right here. Got you. Look at that footwork, though. Sheesh. Dang. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, this offense is about to become a problem, y'all. It is. We'll see, though. We'll see. And there's your Cam Newton for clickbait. There's your Cam Newton footage for clickbait. You're welcome. Everybody knows somebody gonna ask about it, man. Dude just sliding off the bench. But hey. Yeah, man. That really wraps up day 2 footage, though. Unless there's anything else that I missed. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So. Millen as a tutor every day and J.C. Horn. That's a fact right there, man. Both of them going to elevate each other. I'm watching that matchup very closely. That's a fact, though. Defense won the day today. What do y'all think about that? Let me know. What's the thoughts, man? Yeah, let's see what's going on with the Saints here. Okay. Day 2, you got some nice throws and catches. Okay. May the Ravens players stay healthy. Oh boy. That's a tall order. That's a tall request right there. I think it's even taller for us, to be honest with you. Oh, man. There's your picture of the day. There you go. Hope y'all had a great time with this stream. I did. Yeah, chat. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. Leave some comments, man, on this stream. I'm gonna start getting everybody's set up for fantasy football this week. Hopefully. This weekend and this coming week we'll be opening that up once all the necessary people are in. So I'll officially announce that on the Facebook group page and on live streams next week. So be looking for that. So if you want in on that, let me know, man. Let me know. There's a post on the Facebook group page. I pinned it in the Facebook group page for you guys. So if you're interested in that, get interested in let me know. I don't even know where I was going with that thought. My brain just like trailed off for a second. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you're interested in that, just comment on that post and just let me know. We're only limiting it to that post about fantasy football, so make sure you get to that and get involved if you're interested. We have 12 spots only for that league. 12 spots only. One of them is for me. I'm hosting about two or three people myself from our team chat, possibly, depending on who's interested this year and who could do it. And also one of our moderators might be interested as well. So after that point, we will be opening it up after I've gotten everybody in. So that I want in. But yeah, let me know. So whoever is going to FanFest, I'll be posting the section that I'm going to be sitting in on Facebook group page. I'll put it in a pinned post for you guys, and I'll be announcing it on the live streams as well, throughout until we get to Fan Day. So that way, if you want to come up and meet me, there's no excuse. If you're going, if you want to come up and meet me, come say hi. I don't want to hear from people saying, oh, well, I missed my chance because blah, 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 blah. You didn't post it. You didn't say anything about it. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Several times. And I did it last year, too. So I don't want to hear from people saying, oh, I missed my chance to meet you and da-da-da-da-da. Make sure that you pay attention and listen for it, all right? So, because I'm going to make sure y'all know this time. So we ain't going to have that same scenario pop up again. If y'all want to come say hi, let me know. I'll talk to y'all anytime during that Fan Fest. Anytime. Except when I'm taking notes. Alright? During the actual camp activities. Because I've got to take notes on that so I can properly present that for the stream. But beyond that, come say hi. I do not mind. So, and I'll also let y'all know where we're going to be eating dinner at, too. So, if you want to join us for that, too, you're more than welcome. Before we go in for Fan Day. But we got to be quick, though, because we're on a schedule, so. You know how that is. But, yeah. Training camp day 2 wrapped up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with day 3 and more info. I can't guarantee when these streams are going to happen because they're not live streaming any of the camp days. So, I don't have a set time as far as like live reaction wise. So, I'm just doing these streams whenever I can do them, and getting to all the info that I can get to. That day. If I miss sometimes it bleeds into the next day, or days off, for the players. So sometimes that'll happen, so it's just, I'm going by ear and I'm doing what I can do. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support, all the new likes, all the new subs. Much love. Welcome to the Keep Pounding family. Shout out to Marcus Cash, in the chat. Much love to you, man. You've been in my chat like pretty much every stream, and I appreciate it, man. I recognize it. I see you. And so much love to you, man. But, we got so much more to come. A lot more content coming your way. So make sure you hit that bell so you have all your alerts on for when I go live. Alright? Make sure you got those alerts on. Because there's a lot of content coming your way in this month. You don't want to miss any of it. So if you're subbed, make sure that bell is hit. If you're not, sub and hit the bell. And select all on the alerts. That way you get all of them. Alright, and as always, go check out our fellow podcasters, that support us, and we support them as well. Go check out Blitzball Champ. Go check out Bleeding Blue Podcast. Go check out C3 if you're not sub to them. Go check out Unk 2020. Go check out Shellytron. There's several others out there, man. Go check them out, man. And in particular, today, we wanted to highlight one of those. Who was it? Oh, yeah, PNP. Go check out PNP. They're good people. Let's see. Panthers Culture. Yeah, shout out Panthers Culture. Much love to you. And the stuff you're putting out right now, I love it. And if you want to make sure you are paying attention to everything that is going on with training camp on Twitter, make sure to follow the Panthers Wire and a few of these major news reporters such as Adam Scheffler, Ian Rappaport, Sheena Quick, Joe Person is always out there. Who else is always out there? I'm trying to remember who else is out there, typically. Darren Gant's always out there, but he rarely posts anything, which is interesting. But if you want videos and all that stuff, go to Sheena Quick. When she's actually there. She wasn't there today. But and if you want articles, go to Cat Crave. And let's see. And also the Rob Star Report. Go sub to him too. I forgot about him too. You're not just limited to my channel too. We all cover this content. So we all do what we do. And I think Big Cat's got his own new channel now too. So if you're interested in Big Cat, he's got a new channel. Exclusively for Panthers content, I believe it is. I don't know if it's exclusive for just that, but I don't know. But that's the logo you look for, and the face and the name, Blitzball Champ. If you're looking for him, he's on Twitter, he's on YouTube. Go check him out. But he's really awesome. He helps us out during reactions and streams and whatnot, a lot. He's heavily active in my team chat. So I just want to shout out him and what he does, because it's just so awesome working with him and doing what we do together. And it really does feel like Panthers family, you know, and a great friendship. And we have David Screws to thank for that because he's the one that introduced us to each other. So, shout out David Screws. And much love to you for doing that. And all the contributions you put in, too. Much love to all of you. But we got a lot more work to go. And we're just getting started for for training camp and for the new year. So, with that being said, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, comment down below if you feel like doing so, and don't forget to check out Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game post polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel and for the Yahoo Sports app Fantasy Football League. If you would like to get your hands on an intro like the one you see on your screen, go check out Lindara Tai on Instagram. She does panels, videos, etc. Fair pricing, awesome to work with, and just an awesome person in general. Search her last name first. Tai, T-A-I, Lindara, Lindara, for videos, intros, outros, panels, etc. Up your game if you're a content creator. She will hook you up. Alright. That is going to do it for day 2. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back for day 3. And as always, you already know what to do. Stay happy, healthy, and well, y'all. Much love, man. Much love. And we'll see you guys next time. And as always, keep pounding. Peace.